not all, some states pay taxes. What? Which one didn't you get it? Yeah, not all states. For you to take over somebody else's property, you don't. In some states, you don't have to pay taxes in order to have the right to. So, you have an abandoned property, and I'm going to take over. I'm going to maintain the property for X amount of years, right? I don't pay your taxes. You do, or nobody does. It all depends, right? But in some states, for you to claim the right, you have to pay taxes. In other states, they don't care if you pay taxes or not. They just want to know that you've done the others. All these others right here. Right? That you were there for the statutory period, that you had notorious possession, that you were hostile. Right? That's all they care. So every state has a rule regarding the whether you pay taxes or not. State of, in Texas, for instance, for you to claim the property faster, you have to pay taxes. Well, that's what adverse possession is. You take over somebody else's property. So squatters' rights. Okay? Okay? All right, so what's claim of right and what's color of title? Can the minor do that? It's a little tough. How's the minor going to file for that? Yeah. So yes, Ligia, thank you. 30 years, and then if it's land only or vegetation, is 40 years. That's what it is. So I keep on going with 20 years because years ago it was 20. But anyway, so either way, I'll show you how to do it in 2. You don't have to wait for all that time. So claim of rights is based on adverse possessors occupying and maintaining the property as if he or she was the legal owner. While color of title results when the grantee obtained a defective title or received title by defective means. So in these two is I sold it to you, right, without having the right to sell it to you, right? Remember, you guys remember in the beginning of the chapter, we talked about Sandra that bought the property, right, first. Then we talked about Douglas that paid the most. And we talk about Tanya that has the deed, right? So color of title is I could not have transferred the property because Douglas found out later that when he did the title search, if you guys remember, right? He found out later that I was not even the owner of the property. Now, you have the title, and I did not correct the issue with the title. Technically, you can claim that adverse possession, even though you're not the owner of, I was not the owner of record, or there was issues with the title, right? The court may hold that color of title, so again, I occupy the property. Color of title is a valid reason for possession. So it's either I find a property and I take over, or color of title, I was sold a property with issues of title. You cannot get it back. Nobody can get it back because I have it now, right? So a court may hold me as the rightful owner. That's what it says here. Okay? Constructive notice. Constructive notice means that some record or some information is available.
I know, but
in this,
I find out the
well, then at that point you have actual notice. The information was available, so that's one of the reasons why, if information was available, that's one of the reasons why this might not be held as a valid reason. If information was available, you did not research. Okay? Now, notorious possession or hostile means notorious possession, and hostile possession means, again, you're not hiding it. You know it's against the owner's title, and that the owner, right, it's a constructive notice because the owner should check on the property once in a while. If they don't, well, it's assumed that they should have. If they don't, that's when you can take over. So you become the owner. And again, in some states, you must pay taxes in order to actually take over. How do we avoid adverse possession? As I said, the owner should once in a while inspect the property. Simple. Send somebody there once in a while. Inspect the property. If you cannot go there because you own property in a different state, for instance, right? Send somebody. Anybody, call a realtor to go there. Hey, could you check on the property? I'll send you $100 just to go check on the property. If there's anybody there, let me know so I can take action. Simple. So you want to make sure there's no trespassers. That's what it is. Okay. And then we have estoppel. Okay. So what is estoppel? Estoppel, as the word says, stops. So something stops here. Okay? Something stops here, right? What stops? So an estoppel prevents a person, and we'll talk about this in financing as well, prevents a person from claiming, look that it's not highlighted. You should know, because we're going to talk about it in financing, but it's not highlighted here. But estoppel prevents a person from claiming a right or interest that is inconsistent with a person's previous statements or acts. So as a basis for involuntary alienation, the doctrine of estoppel can prevent an owner from reclaiming the property. So I sold to you with a defective title, and I'm telling you, hey, give it back to me. Give it back to me because I sold it to you wrong, right? No, you sold, you sold. There's a stop. I am seized of the property, meaning I no longer have a claim to the property. It's yours. If I sold it with a defective title, I have to fix it regardless, but that's my responsibility and it's your benefit. Okay? So the grantor is fully aware of the defect but makes no disclosure to the grantee. The grantor later cures the defect and claims to be the rightful owner of the property on the basis of the effort and expense of clearing the title. Estoppel disallows the grantor's claim. Okay? Estoppel disallows the grantor's claim. Because if there's a sale, there's a sale. Period. Imagine, right? You go to the supermarket and you buy something, right? And then the person from the supermarket starts running after you. No, there's an issue with that. There's an issue with that. It was not ours to sell. Right? Like the mouse before that I could not sell on my name, have to sell under the company name, right? So I run after you for that. And you're like, true story, by the way, this happened to me at Costco. I bought a TV for $300 and something, and the TV was worth $800 and something, right? They called me later and say, hey, I think we sold it to you, a TV for the wrong price. Come and get it? Like, I bought it at the time. This is like probably 10 years ago. No, about 8 years ago. I bought the 65-inch TV for $350, believe it or not. Right? Listen, in the display, it said $350. I guess when they were moving things around, they forgot to change what was on display. And that's what I paid for it. They're like, no, it was the wrong TV that was there. We sold you the wrong. Hey, come get it. That's all I said. Right? Should I ever return it or go pay the difference? What do you guys think? Let me know. Legia is like new. I am very kind. I am very kind, but I have possession. Possession. All right? It's not about the title because the receipt is wrong. It's the wrong item. But I have possession, and I did not steal it. They gave it to me. Just saying. Right? You see the difference, guys? It's all tying in. All right. Just so you guys know, possession is 9/10 of the law. If it's in your hands, it's kind of yours until somebody proves that it's not. Okay? How it is. Well, that's even better. Too bad for them. You guys are terrible. Oh, Calvin wrote 9/10. Yeah, there you go. I didn't even see that. Double hockey sticks. Okay. Because my name was wrong, then I have to correct it. That would be either quitclaim or suit to quiet title to correct my name. So there's always a potential for issues to exist. So that's what this is, a defective title. If it was transferred to me and they put my name wrong, right, then they have to prove that the intention was not to sell to me. So that's another thing, because now I have, again, possession. Okay? Evidence of title is key. All right? Evidence of title is key. They have to prove, first of all, they had the right to do so, first thing. Second, they have to prove they had no intentions to giving it to me, right? And third, they have to pry it out of my hands because I have possession. I have the best evidence ever. It's here. Okay? Now prove that it's not mine. Simple. Okay? And that's what we're going to get to, title evidence. So, title records, guys. Only a few more pages. We're almost done. Title records. There's something called chain of title. How do we prove title? Is by seeing the chain of title. Guys, what is a chain? Let me know in the chat, what is a chain? YouTubers, Zoomers, and Katya. What is a chain? Something attached to it. Okay, we'll go with that. What else? Chain. All right, Stacy said link. Okay. We have line, thread. Okay, great. Paper trail. And Calvin says history of ownership. Great. So chain of title is pretty much what links records. Okay. So let's look at this real quick. I have a chain right here, right? This chain is composed of several links that attach to each other, right? If a link is missing, will this stay here? Will I be able to pull it like this? If one is missing? No, it will fall right off, right? So it's the same thing with public records for a property. If your name is not there, then technically you do not exist on record. You have to prove it other ways, right? So the idea with a chain of title, right, is that we'll link the records of current owner to the previous owner, to the one before that, to the one before that, and so on. So it links everybody. Okay, so that's a chain. And if it's missing, unless the land was robbed.
Raw.
Oh, raw? No. It still belongs to somebody. So you said robbed, like we're in America. Yeah. All right. It could be raw land, but it's owned by somebody. There's a lot of raw land, undeveloped land, but it's still land. I just told you I have land in Texas, 30 acres, 20 and 10 acres. They're just land. Huh? No, I have dirt, I have rocks, and it's uneven. That's what I have. I don't have a ranch. If you want to build something there, I'll rent it to you.
No, thank you.
Oh, thanks. All right. So let's look at evidence of title. So, sorry, right here. These public records or title records contain a history of every parcel of real estate in the county, including names of previous owners, liens, easements, and other encumbrances that have been recorded. Okay? So, deeds, next page, deeds, mortgages, liens, easements, and sales contracts are among the documents that must be recorded. Other public records that affect real estate title are marriage, probate, and tax records. Marriage, probate, and tax records. Now, generally, a county recorder's office or similar named office maintains the title records. For instance, we have the Essex County Registrar, so it's a separate registrar. It's not the county recorder, separate registrar. But most, I think there's 3 or 4 in the state of New Jersey, have their own registrar, a separate entity. But the majority of the counties have a county recorder's office. The title records serve a number of purposes. Wafa, I'm going to get there in a second. So title records serve a number of purposes, not the least of which is to avoid ownership disputes. That's one of the main purposes, right? That's why we put things into public records. So the first one we have is public notice. What is notice, guys? What is notice? What does the word notice mean? Disclosure. Perfect. So notice, we're talking about disclosure. A public notice or public disclosure protects the public by giving all concerned parties constructive notice of the condition of the property's legal title. So we're letting the world know who owns the property, it says right here, who maintains the claims and encumbrances against the property. That's why we put stuff onto public records. Okay? So we're letting the world know, here's the owner, here's the mortgage companies that have liens against the property, right? Or any other encumbrances against the property. Everything is listed in public records. And this protects any buyer, right? By revealing whether the property has a marketable title or transferable title or not. Okay? So marketable title is one that has no issues other than the ones we agree to. What? Marketable title means? No, it's not about having no history. It's like, I know there's a mortgage there, and I know you're going to pay for that mortgage. Okay, so I know there's a lien. You owe $300,000 in your house. If I go buy your house, I know that before you sell it to me, you're going to pay off that lien. Because I saw it's there. I'm not going to buy your house knowing that there's a lien against it. Because then I'm responsible for it somehow. Right? So the reason why we do a title search is to make sure, hey, you know there's a mortgage, right? Pay it off before you transfer to me. Right? That's one of the things about it. The other thing about a title search is, who are you? Are you the person that's entitled to sell to me, or somebody else? Right? So that's why we do title search, to make sure there's no undesirable clouds, encumbrances. Undesirable clouds or encumbrances. Okay? Lien holder protection. So the other thing about putting things into public records is, like I said, you have a mortgage, right? If you sell the property to me, but Bank of America was never paid off, because that's your mortgage holder as an example, right? Then is the mortgage holder protected? Well, you sold it to me. I don't have to pay, so if I don't pay you, yes, I'm going to lose the house, but you don't get all your money either. So the lien holder protection is literally, like I said, it's for them to say, hey, I have a claim here. Nobody can keep on selling this property or financing this property without consulting me, Bank of America. So lien holder protection. It lets the world know that this property has a lien against it. It could be the mortgage company, it could be a hospital bill that became a judgment and they went after you. Anything that's financial claim will be protected if they filed in public records. Okay? The house is in front. I'm not paying my bills. Go ahead. If it's within foreclosure, it's public record, so I can find out that you're in foreclosure. It depends. So the question is, Tatiana's asking, what the question is that you're asking is, a property that's going through foreclosure, how come there's a lot of people that start jumping right at it, right? So, okay, so there's something called marketable title. That's what we had here. That's one that has no issues, right? And that's what most people want. They want to buy houses that have no issues, right? Everybody wants to get into the investing game, but they don't understand that with the investing game comes headaches, right? If you want to invest properly, most of the times you're going to go into foreclosure homes, right? You're going to go into destroyed homes. That's where you make most of your money because there's a need. They need to fix the problem, right? And you have the money to pay them out or buy them out, right? Somehow. So marketable title is like that turnkey property. Like it's a two-family. There's nothing to do. There's no issues with title. There's no issues with the property. I move in and boom, I have my apartment and I collect the rent and I'm happy, right? An investor will look at all the properties that have problems. So I'm always looking at the sheriff sales. I'm always looking at people that default. I'm always looking at as many records as I can of people with issues that I can help them with, right? So there's two mentalities. There's the let me take advantage of this person, and there's the let me help him. I go with the let me help him, and most of the times that's where I make my money, by helping somebody. Some investors are like, hey, I just bought your house, get out, right? That's the first thing they do. They knock on doors saying, hey, I won your house at auction, and that's it. It happens a lot. So investors usually look at the issues and fix the issues, and they make great returns on the money, right? But there's a lot of headaches with it, yes. Okay, so there's a lot of, could have a lot of title issues too. Could be, not always. If you know what you're doing, there's not many headaches, but there's some. Sounds good. All right, chain of title. So chain, as I said, is links. What links the current owner to the previous one, right? So the chain of title refers to the succession of property owners of records, right, dating back to the original grant of title from the state to a private party. Now, if there's a missing link in the chronology of the owners, or if there's a defective conveyance, the chain is broken, or there's a gap in the chain, resulting in a clouded title of the property. So if something is defective, like I said, your name is not there, right, Elvira? So I sold it to you, but you never recorded it, right? So your name is not there, and now you're trying to sell to, let's see, you're trying to sell to Mr. Simonis, to Brandon, right? So Elvira is selling to Brandon, and Brandon's now trying to get a mortgage. Brandon goes and get a mortgage, everything's great, but during that process, the mortgage company asks for a title search. When they do a title search, I'm like, oh, you're buying from Elvira? Well, who's Elvira? We just saw the records, and he used to belong to Christine. Then from Christine, he went to Lula. From Lula, he went to Deanna, right? And then he went to Bruno. From Bruno, went to Calvin. So we don't see Elvira anywhere here. How are you buying from Elvira if she's not on record? That's what they do when they pull a title search. So if you're not there, there's a gap in the chain, and it becomes a clouded title. Clouded, so encumbered title that needs to be fixed. To fix it, we need to file what's called a suit to quiet title. This is the fix. Okay? It's a lawsuit to fix the title or quiet the title. It's too noisy. There's a lot of issues. We need to quiet the title. We're going to ask a judge to say, so Elvira is asking a judge, hey, Your Honor, I'm Elvira. I purchased from this person. Here's the deeds I have on hand. It was never recorded, but I have the deed. I didn't record it, but I have possession of the deed. You guys remember this? Delivery and acceptance. So she has the deed. So, Your Honor, I have the deed right here. Please examine. I'm the rightful owner of the property, even though it's not on record. So you're asking the judge, through a suit to quiet title, you're asking a judge to allow the title records to show your name. You guys got it? So a chain of title shows everything links together. If there's a gap, we need a suit to quiet title. Okay. Next thing we have is abstract of title. Okay. This one's key that you guys know what an abstract is. Okay. Every time you see abstract in the school or state exam, what I want you to remember is that an abstract is, right here, a summary. Abstract is a summary. Or another thing you might see is brief history. So when you see the word abstract, okay, when you see the word abstract, or if you see the word brief history, or if you see summary of events or of title, right? That's what it is. It's abstract of title. It's where it shows everything in chronological order, everything about the property in chronological order. So I bought the property on January 1st of 2020. On March 1st of 2020, I refinanced the property. On August 15th, a lawsuit happened where somebody obtained a judgment against the property. And then December, there's a tax lien because I never paid the taxes. So everything is going to go in chronological order when you pull a title search. You guys with me so far? Abstract of title is what? It's a summary or brief history. These three things mean the same. Summary of title, brief history of title, or abstract of title. That means we pulled the records and then we put them in order. That's all. It's a brief history of everything. Okay? This is not title. This is a brief or a summary of the title. Okay? Next page. We're going to skip Torrance system because we're going to talk about Torrance and title evidence. Okay. Okay, guys, title evidence. Ready? I want you guys to tell me which document, out of the top of your head, without searching, which document proves title? What is title evidence? Let me know in the chat. They're not seeing that, so I'm going to write it here. Keep on writing. I'm just writing something here on my end. Let's see the answers. Okay. All right, let's go for the big reveal. Look at them. Everybody's writing deed. The deed is not evidence. All right? Brendan Leon wrote, the deed proves title transfer. The deed simply proves, if you guys remember, right? Christine even asked me, oh, so the deed is useless then. Remember that? Okay? So the deed just proves that the transfer occurred, but never proves that I had good title in the first place. Okay? So deed is not evidence of title. It's evidence of transfer only. You guys forgot about that. So, since the value, we'll get there, Calvin. Since the value of the property is only as good as the marketability of its title, evidence supporting the status of title is a significant issue. It's very important you guys understand this. To demonstrate marketable title to a buyer, the seller must show that the title is free of doubts about who the current owner is, free of defects such as erroneous legal descriptions, free of claims that could affect the value, and free of undisclosed or unacceptable encumbrances. So how do we prove that? There are 4 principal forms of evidence, and these are called torrent certificate, title insurance policy, attorney's opinion of title, or title certificate. So these will be the 4 allowed or approved evidences of title. Either the torrent certificate in order of, this is in order of strength in evidence. Okay? What they will ask you is all of these, as an example, all of these are evidences of title except. So there's 4 here, and they're going to tell you all of these, they show you 3, and then they put something completely random, like, for instance, I don't know, deed, right? All these are evidences of title except, and one of the answers might be deed. A deed is not evidence of title. So, let's figure out what a torrent certificate is. Okay. So torrent certificate, if available in the area, because it's not used everywhere. In New Jersey, for instance, it's not used. And that, if you're in New Jersey, doing the New Jersey exam, that could be one of the questions. All of these evidences of title are used in New Jersey except. So we don't have the torrent certificate. But a torrent certificate, oh, sorry, Robin. I think I just answered, right? Okay, all right, cool. Sorry about that. It's not used in New Jersey. But guys, we have the New Jersey portion. We'll have the state portion coming along. So any questions about New Jersey, it's just me giving you quick references. We'll get there, okay? So torrent certificate, I want you to think of it like your car title, right? When you have your car, on one side it says bill of sale, the other side it says title, right? So it shows that you are the owner of the property, of the car, and on the other side, you have the ability to sell it. The torrent certificate is a little similar to that. It shows the title of who the owner is, what the property is, and on the other side, it shows the transfers. So pretty much it's 2 in 1. Where in New Jersey, you have the deed and you have a title insurance, or you have a title search or whatever to support the deed, right, to support the title. So in this one, torrent certificate is the best evidence, right? Because it's not only a record, but it's the title itself. Okay? So the torrent certificate is the title itself. It doesn't need separate records. The torrent certificate is the evidence of title. So every time there's a transfer, it's just added to the torrent certificate. Okay? Title insurance, as you guys already know, it's an insurance to protect title. What does that mean? It means that if I sold the property to you, but I was not the rightful owner, and the rightful owner shows up and you have title insurance, well, the insurance will protect you, the current homeowner, by paying off the claim or by defending the claim. So it's again, insurance, it's protection. It's like you driving a car, you have liability insurance in case something happens, right? This insurance is if somebody shows up, right? The title insurance policy indemnifies the policyholder against losses arising from defects in the insured's title. This is the second best evidence of title. Why? Because you're protected. So if something is wrong, they did not accept, or meaning that they did not exclude, right? If you are protected, it's something they did not exclude, then they fight for you. They protect you. So that's why it's the second best thing. Okay? There's different policies. We have an owner's policy. We have a lien holder's policy. We even have leasehold policies. Okay? But the standard coverage protects against title defects like incompetent grantors, invalid deeds, fraudulent transactions, and defects in the chain of title. This is why This is why title insurance is so important. If you have a property that's paid off, it's even more important, okay? If you just bought a property, cash, right? Very important. A lot of people skip this. They buy the property cash and they never insure it. What if you bought something that was not theirs to sell? Again, always have title insurance. Very, very important. It's not that expensive. So very, very important. Now, extended coverage protects against liabilities that may not be of public record, so something that we cannot see, including what? They'll protect you from fraud, from unrecorded ownership claims, from unintentional recording errors, or unrecorded liens. Yes, unrecorded liens. True story. Michael, one of my clients years ago, had a property here in Newark where the mortgage company and the title company never recorded neither the deed nor the mortgage. So technically, the previous owner still owned the property, and there's no mortgage against it. Okay? So title insurance will protect you just in case, let's say that Michael decided to sell the property to somebody else. He sold the property. And now comes the mortgage company that was never recorded. Comes the mortgage company to say, hey, Michael owes us money. Who are you? Right? And here comes, let's say, Joanna, right? Joanna goes and says, well, I don't know who Michael is. I just bought from Michael. I don't know who he is. And if he owes you money, you go after them because I got insurance. Boom. That's what it is. Joanna, you are protected. You are protected because you have title insurance. So if it was not resolved in the previous ownership, it does not affect you. That's why we have this. Fraud, unrecorded stuff like liens, ownership claims, and even errors in the recording. Yep. Anna, if you paid off a property, can you still get title insurance? So to answer that, you can get title insurance at any time. The thing about getting title insurance after you purchased is that they're going to put an exclusion that says, hey, from date of purchase until insurance today, you're not covered. We only cover from here on, right? The same thing as your car insurance. They'll tell you that's valid from 12:01 of the next day. So if you got insurance today because you got involved in an accident 5 minutes ago, not covered, right? You know, have you heard of people trying to do this? They get into a car accident, all of a sudden, hey, let me make a call. Insurance company, right? Yeah, they cover you 12:01. Same thing. So before issuing the title policy, what they do is they do a title search. So they get that abstract, right? They do a title search to see what's recorded. Once they pull whatever's recorded, they're going to see what could affect the property, and they insure you based on what they see, okay? Or they make requirements. A title company could say, hey, we will not insure as long as this is there. So they can make requirements as well, okay?
Insurance can check.
Yeah. Can the car insurance say no to you? Not if you have the money. Oh yeah, they'll give you ridiculous premiums. That's how you get the rejection. Yeah. Instead of charging you $3,000 for the year, they charge you $10,000 for the year. Yeah. All right. The next one is attorney's opinion of abstract. Guys, what is abstract again? Let me know. What is abstract again? We're almost done. Just bear with me. Got one more page to go. Just bear with me. What is abstract? Summary. Perfect. So attorney's opinion of abstract, right? That means the attorney saw the abstract and is saying, appears to be okay, right? Now, guys, what's the difference between our opinion, like we're talking about the sports game, we're talking about the weather, we're talking about the clothes. Hey, your clothes look great on you, right? What is the difference between our opinion and an attorney's opinion? Lawsuit. You know why? Exactly, Carliana, because it's a legal, professional opinion, and we're relying on a professional, right? So, if their opinion is wrong, so this is not insurance, this is just the attorney saying, yeah, looks good, right? If their opinion is wrong, you could sue the attorney. Okay? And then we have the last one, title certificate. This is the... Good. No, it's not the wrong abstract. It's the wrong opinion on the abstract, whatever they saw. Well, because if somebody shows up and says they're the owners, right, and the attorney missed that, right, then oh. It's like a medical opinion, right? That's why we have medical malpractice. Like a medical opinion. Medical opinion is they're the doctors. If they tell you have cancer, so now you're saying goodbye to your whole family, right? True stories, by the way. They're saying goodbye to your whole family, and then you live for another 30 years because you never had cancer, but that's what they diagnosed you with. Can you sue the doctor? Absolutely. If it damaged your life. Some people got diagnosed with cancer and go through this ridiculous treatment, right? True stories again. They go through the ridiculous treatment, chemotherapy, and everything for something they didn't have. And now they really have a defective body, right? Can you sue? Absolutely. It affected your life. And vice versa. That's why you always get multiple opinions. All right. The next one is title certificate. Now, okay. We said, let's recap real quick before I give you this one. We said torrent certificate is the best because it's the title itself, right? Then we talked about title insurance as being the second best because, hey, there's an insurance. If something is wrong, it's insured. Then we went to this one right here, which is attorney's opinion, right? Yeah, it looks good. And they examined the abstract. And then we have title certificate. Title certificate is, we didn't even examine the abstract. It's the attorney saying, hey, listen, as far as I know, they are the owners. We don't need to check any records. Don't worry about it. You're good. So that's why it's the lowest one of all. It does not guarantee anything. Okay? There's no guarantees whatsoever. So the best one, title certificate, title insurance, then attorney's opinion, and then just records. But like no research or proper research at all. Nope. That is it, guys. We're leaving early. Look at that. We still got 12 minutes to go. We should stay a little bit longer, right? 12 minutes? We should. No. Carly, you're doing so great. And you go like, no? Brandon as well? What's wrong with you guys? I enjoy your presence. You don't enjoy my corny jokes? Come on. Don't shake your head. I'm kidding. Yep. Legia says it's a discount from yesterday. Yep, absolutely. I get up at 4:20. Oh, there you go. Brandon, TMI, man. TMI. All right, guys. So with that being said, make sure you guys go through the replay if you want, but definitely go through the review quizzes in the student portal. Go through the Quizlets, please, as much as you can, and ask me questions, okay? So, guys, I bid you an amazing evening, and I'll see you tomorrow at 5:30. Thank you.